What is due diligence, and how does due diligence affect you? This video, we are going to talk about what due diligence means for buyers and for sellers. And I'm only going to give you the perspective of living in Georgia because it's the only place that I have sold real estate. Due diligence begins the day after you have gone binding with your contract, and meaning that both the buyer and the seller are in agreement. Usually due diligence will last anywhere between 7 to 10 days, and this is the time when the buyer has their home inspection. So it's very key to go ahead and get that home inspection scheduled right away. And then once you have the home inspection, go ahead and attend. Some buyers attend for the entire home inspection. If that doesn't work for your schedule, you definitely need to be there at the end of the inspection. Also, your agent probably needs to be with you as well at the end so that they can hear the summary that the home inspector is going to go through. And this is where he or she is going to talk to you about things that they found that might be concerning in the home. Then you'll probably get your report in less than 24 hours. Once you have that report, go over it with your agent, because that is when your agent is going to actually draft the amendment to address concerns. They will then take that amendment, present it to the listing agent, and they're going to talk to the seller about what items they want to address, whether they are addressing them all or whether they only want to address a few. Also, during this due diligence time period, this is when you might want to look at your homeowner's insurance. Roofs have become a big deal over the past few years based on the age of the roof and how much it may cost to insure a house. So as a buyer, you want to make sure you're going into a home that, one, the insurance is what you expected and you can afford, and if for some reason there is something going on with the roof, this is your chance to have it looked at by a roofing professional, and also to ask that seller potentially to address any concerns you might have. And that needs to be done in the same amendment to address concerns. If you're going to do a termite letter, or you're asking for a clear termite letter, this may not be the time to do it because those are only good for 30 days. So it's not something that would be provided necessarily unless you're closing in less than 30 days during this due diligence time period. One of the things that doesn't happen during due diligence is this is not when the appraisal is done. I had a seller one time that seemed to think for some reason that the appraisal was done in due diligence, and that's just not how this works. That is actually separate in a financing contingency, and that could be a whole nother video. So during this due diligence time period, the buyer needs to make sure they do their home inspection, that they also negotiate any repairs and concerns and address from the seller and address that through their agent. And you also need to make sure that you are checking on your homeowner's insurance, and if there's any other items that you want inspected, have it done during this due diligence time period. Because due diligence does, I've always say, in some ways favors the buyer, because if there is a reason that they find in any of these inspections that they want to terminate the contract, they can do that at no penalty during due diligence and get their earnest money back. Now, if you're a seller during this due diligence period, know and expect that there will be a home inspector coming through your house. You might have a roofing professional coming, maybe an HVAC person, as the buyer is going through their inspection process for the home. And also expect that you'll be sitting down with your listing agent and going over the list of items that that the buyer may be requesting of you as the seller. So again, due diligence will run between 7 to 10 days usually, and it's a time period when the buyer can do their inspections on the home that is under contract. If you have any other questions throughout the real estate process, or if you want to know more about due diligence, in the comments below this video, just type in the words due diligence, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of our buyer guide so that you can review that. And we'd love to do a buyer consultation with you or a listing appointment.